Hello, everybody, and welcome to DM Writer's Room, a show where we demystify the DMing process by coming up with monsters, magic items, and wait a minute, that should say GM Writer's Room, entire systems live. Yes, we are back, the triumphant return. Thank you all so much for your patience, and I don't know. I was about to say something else, and I couldn't actually think of anything. Thanks for the patience, I guess. Your viewership. We're going to be talking a little bit about the same thing we talked about last time, which was we wanted to make a system, maybe a little baby one, maybe like a full system. We don't know yet. That was all about going to an adventuring academy. This is an often dabbled in topic. It's kind of a genre unto itself that I would like to officially put out as almost always coming out like hot garbage.
Yes, true.
Because when you try to play D&D as if you are in school, you quickly encounter the fact that the rule set is so wholly unready for you to try to learn anything that it breaks down instantly. It instantly breaks down. And it leads to like weird in-class exams a lot of the time where a character will where they'll be like, make a strength check in fighter class, and then it's like, oh, so the whole thing, and then they fail a strength check, and and they're like, you're not serious, and it's like, this system's not ready for this. Like, this system is not actually ready for us to do this.
It's a series of skill check over and over and over again that is just totally
boring.
Yeah, it's boring and
so
not good.
Our goal was to focus in on, like, if we think about high school, college fiction that ties it to magical aspects, what are our essentials? What can we not go without? And here's what we came down to.
We got Harry Potter.
We have that's all wizards, so that wouldn't work anyways. So like we started with our game stats. We decided that each player picks a major and a minor out of a bank of 6 stats, which is Evoke, Support, Aura, Martial, Covert, and Primal. Evoke is flash and bang, fire and ice, throwing the elements. Support is healing, buffing, and protecting. Aura is charm, it's illusions, it's, that kind of personality magic. Martial is all about hitting, striking, and then I added reinforcing, because I feel like that's more martial than support. Is like, my fist can't break now, because I want us to be able to have like paladins and other groups in that class and have it still make sense. And then covert, which is hiding, shifting, being in shadows. And then primal, which is all about embracing nature, growing and evolving. So that's your 6 stats. You pick a major, you pick a minor. Not that hard to figure out what a lot of these are. If you're a primal major, you're basically a druid no matter what. If you're a martial major with a primal minor, you're probably a barbarian. And I like this because it also goes into some uncharted territory. Like, there's some that I don't know. This would leave us, right, with what? Like 32 classes? Minus 6, so like 28 or 30 classes. There's not that many, but it leaves you fun, open opportunity to be like, what is like, support, major, covert, primal? Like, what is somebody that is like mostly kind of clerical, but then also is sneaking around? Like, what is that? I don't know. And then we hit our next thing, which was relationships. Relationships are always so fucking important. And so we added a relationship system that's very simple. There's 4 kinds of relationships: mentors, friends, crushes, and rivals. You need to, in each year of play, spend an entire action to support that relationship. Otherwise, it will diminish and eventually end. And they have a variety of benefits. The benefit depends on, have a conversation with whatever your game master is. We have cliques. In school, we have the admins, the jocks, the scholars, the underworld, the performers, the popular, and the prodigies, which I think is really fun. Admin, obviously, is like the teachers. Jocks, scholars, self-explanatory. Underworld are, your rogues, your vagabonds, your sneaking around people. Performers and popular, also relatively obvious. And your prodigies is fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It's Quoth. You're going to the same school as the guy in Name of the Wind, and you're like, I have been studying with diligence and care. I have consistent good grades. This asshole's failing 3 classes. He just happened to save like 2 guys. Why is everyone paying attention to him? This is stupid. Right?
Goated.
That's your prodigies.
My Hero Academia. What was Light
The
Boy?
big 3.
Yeah, the big
Miria
three. What's
Togeda, Sun
Yes.
Eater, Nejire Hato. Don't even worry
Yeah,
about
they're
it.
the
I got it
prodigies.
covered.
Spencer had first and last on one of those, and that's crazy. Then we figured out, what do you do in a day, right? Because we decided there's 3 sessions per season and 4 seasons per series. And then you're done. Those sessions have to be under 2 hours. You have no choice. They run as long as a feature-length film. If you want it to be longer than that, get fucked. Talk faster.
Too bad.
What do? You can do one of these things each on those 3 days. You can go to class. That gives you the most powerful ability in the game, a flashback. The ability
sir.
to right one wrong because you just so happen to hear the lesson that covers the topic. You gain support with the admin, and you lose it with the jocks if you go to class. And then I'm going to zip through these pretty quick. Each of them gives you a stat bonus that's permanent, and they also shift around your social standing. It's go to class, hit the books, go to practice, take the spotlight, cut class, touch nature, help out, and bolster. You bolster your relationships. My favorite is taking the spotlight. Taking the spotlight means participating in the school play. It means doing the tap dance. It means doing the talent showcase.
My favorite's touch nature for sure.
And what does take the spotlight get you? It gets you gain aura, which is our charisma sort of equivalent, plus some magical effect to it that I like better. You gain traction with the popular kids because they're either what I wrote in the description for this is, you're not sure if they're laughing at you or with you, but they're laughing, which I thought was really, I made myself laugh with that one. And you lose it with the performers because they don't like to share the stage. And that's my favorite joke. Because the thought that they're like, oh, well, if you work on the show, the other people who do shows will like you. Have you met theater people?
They won't.
Sorry, a hot new person who can sing shows up? You think they're gonna like that?
You're public enemy number 1. You've
Yeah.
upset the balance.
Yes, I can. And then we said another of my favorites, which is you go to class, you maintain your friendships, you artfully navigate the social world of school, you finish the adventure that's undergirding that year. The secret, you get to the other side. It's time to take exams, idiot. It ain't over yet. Hey, did you put points in relevant stats? I fucking hope so. Because we're going for the number 1 most central tenet of these kinds of series. And what is that? It's the hero not being able to get everything done. It's them not being able to solve the mystery and go to their special class with the special professor who only has one eye, and keep up their friendships and keep up their relationships, right? Spencer, you used Invincible as your, sort of icon to choice, where it's like, Mark can get good at a couple things, but he can't also have a normal girlfriend.
You know what Mark doesn't do? Mark doesn't go to fucking college. He goes, nope. Can't do it. I drop out. I'm done now.
Yeah, they don't really encounter the fact that Mark's IQ is a lukewarm bowl of water with a fly in it, right?
Yep.
That he had to kind of cut and run a little early there. Unless Viltrumites learn faster, I don't know if that's anything. But anyhow, so that's where we are. Today we are left with a few things. We have 2 simple tasks and 1 major task before us. And then there's another one if we have the time. Our simple tasks, we need what I called big wins, which is, in this genre, there's always big wins. You always put out the fire. You always save the kid who's drowning. You always win the fucking wizard chess tournament, right? There's always that thing that happens, not at the end, like 2/3 or halfway through the book or movie, and it's a really big deal and it changes the situation. But, it doesn't necessarily, nothing else necessarily happens. So we need to figure out, do you get that every time? Who gets that? How do they win? How do they lose? What do they get? And then our second is, you go on winter break, You go on Christmas break to go home for the season. You know, you stay. You're the guy who doesn't get to go on break, and you have to stay in the school, and the janitor watches you, you know? Or it's the summer break. What do you do in the long break that we have between seasons? That's a question I have. And then finally, the entire adventuring part of our system. The entire adventuring part of our system. The whole other half.
That's for the DM.
It's a 2d4 system. Just something we make something so toxic and unplayable that people are forced to take a scalpel and try to delicately remove the Persona 5 half of our game and leave the rotten vestiges behind. You're going to need a d10 and a d4. You're going to roll the d4, you're going to multiply the result of the d10 by the d4. Then you're going to roll a d12, you're going to subtract it. Your stat reduces the subtraction from the d12.
If you're in the popularity click, you actually gain an additional 1.5 times that initial bonus.
Yeah.
And then you take a fire to it all and burn it.
Yeah, no, that would
exactly.
That'd be a tough
Nobody ever
bitch.
plays it.
We'd be having troubles. So that's where we're at. That's what's left on the table. And then our last thing is we need to come up with the names for 32 discrete subclass groups. We don't.
Easy.
We don't. We can just be like, come up with the name that fits it best. Here's a couple of examples. We think that the D&D Paladin is close to this. We think that the Pathfinder Investigator is close to this. Figure that out for yourself.
All right, here's what I'm thinking. What was the first thing on the docket?
First thing on the docket for me is either big wins or breaks. Let's get those two out of the way.
Big wins. Big swing here from me. I think you can have a maximum of 4 players. I think any more, first of all, it's kind of lame. You have more players than 4, and it's kind of annoying. The 5th is the GM. 5 people at a table is a lot. You go past that, it gets really unwieldy, and it's going to be important for the big win. I think each character is going to be set up to have a big major win in each of the years throughout the span of their education.
I got
so
it.
One person gets first year, second person gets second year.
Forgive the turf topics, but
yes.
Harry Potter catches that fucking golden snitch in that first book, and everybody goes ape shit.
Yep.
We don't really pay attention to the games in books 2 and 3, do we? We just kind of go. No. Like, that's over there. And then we come back around at the Triwizard Cup, and we're like, let's give Harry another big win. Let's have him outrun a dragon on a bow. So that's funny. Every 4 years, you get a big one.
Get another swing. Yep.
So that's interesting. So we have the option to say in this game, by the way, this is a really good point. It's 3 episodes in a season, 4 seasons in a series. But you can tack 3 series together if you want to do elementary school, middle school, and high school.
Yeah, you can rip that.
Yeah, like you can then stack, and that's where you get, like, again, to keep using Harry Potter as an example, we have the first 4 books that have, like, kind of a light tone, the next 4 books where it's like, this is getting kind of dark, and then the last 4 books where it's like, oh shit, this is different.
Awful and bad. Yep. So that's my pitch. I think that you can play with as low as 2 players at the table. They just would have a big hit, the other person would have a big hit, then they would have a big hit, and the other person would have a big hit over the course of the 4 years. But I think any more than 4, you're not sharing the spotlight. Also unreasonable for a close-knit group of friends and adventurers to be more than 4. Not gonna happen.
Do you get it automatically? How do you get it? How do you fail it? I don't want us to just automatically get it.
I think that this would be a narrative device that would come to, like, has this player, the character, been fulfilling the things around their big win? Harry Potter Quidditch, right? Has this character actually been going to practice, spending the time doing athletics? Did they build a relationship with this group to make them able to perform as a team? Those things, I think, would be GM choice.
So my question is, at
character
creation, then, do we seed? That makes me think that at character creation, we need to seed what you're going for.
Yeah, 100%.
So one of your things is, like, the dream. So, like, when Daniel Radcliffe sits down at the table to roll up his character, Perry Hodder, and he like writes up his sheet. He looks at a list of options. We're going to come up with that list of options. And he points at the one that's like the sports win. That's, win a competition. And he's like, all right, my big win is going to be to win a competition in the next, in this series. It's going to be like, okay, you get the big
one. Rupert Grint sits down.
As Juan Riesling.
Nor Neasley, he sits and he goes, I want to win the girl. Cool. Your big win is that you end up with this character that you're in a relationship with. Whoever that is.
Now, you need to work towards that for it to reasonably happen.
Yep.
So it's not like one happens every year. One happens every season. It's just that you get one across the whole series. So basically, like, what would happen, and it is what happens in the movies, like, Perry Hodder only does Quidditch stuff. Only does that in the first movie. Basically, nothing else happens. He gets yelled at in potions, and he does broom stuff. Mm-hmm. And so he, like, fast tracks it and is like, all right, that's out of the way. I guess we're done. And then in the background, we say, like, that's still, like, that's an ongoing part of your personality. It's just not going to be spotlighted again. So, like, we just sort of have this passive information that, like, he's vaguely busy at practice every once in a while while other things
not
happen.
Integral to the plot, integral to the character. Very different.
What is that? Is that a number of, do you, like, need to invest? Do you need to do a certain number of scenes that involve it? Do you just, like, do you have to make a check that you can fail, and if you fail, you don't get your big, you don't get the big win?
That's kind of what I was thinking. It's like, it's a build up to, you have to be, like, doing stuff to get it, and I think however many times you do an activity that'll help towards the goal, you get, like, +1 to your die roll, and it's a tough check. And it's like, all right, you went to, you spent 6 actions on this task. You get +6. You're in with the jocks. That's another, like, +1 or +2 to your roll. So it's hedging your bets for the big win.
I think to make it manageable, we'll have 4, like, meters that get filled up. The first meter's like 3 actions. You've done these 3 things, you get the first big win. You don't have 4 years to do it. You're doing it in the first year, one of them. The second year is going to be 6 wins. The third year is 9, and then 12. Once that meter fills, the keeper, or whatever we're going to call them, the GM, gets to say, the big event is happening. Right? We've seeded that you're the shortest one. You've done enough actions, now you can do it. If they can spam some additional ones, they get that D6 bonus or D20 bonus. But mostly it's, you've done enough, now it can occur.
And so it's easiest to do at the beginning.
Exactly. There's a lower difficulty, there's less dice in the pool, but you're more likely to succeed. The last person whose thing is integral to wrapping up the entire story, they needed to have done like 20 actions over the last 12 sessions to do this. And it's hard as fuck. Where it's like, you made the time turner from...
Yeah, okay. I'm getting it. So, like, so you pick which season you're trying to do it by.
Yeah.
And each one, we can only pick each season once. And the later the season you pick, the harder it is, but the bigger the reward, right? Harry wins that fucking Quidditch match in the first book. That shit doesn't matter at all. He gets he gets bullied a little less.
He gets aura. He gets a little
bit of aura.
And he happens to get that, and everybody is like, yeah, but after he's really good. That's the stat getting higher. That's because he used to go to practice. Okay. Yeah. So big DC.
Or the jocks like him a bit more.
It's it.
Plus with work, and then I'll say 4 ranks harder by season. And bigger reward. And that I like, because it's normally, right, you get the big reward at the end. You kill Strahd von Zarovich and you get all the cool shit in the castle, and it's like, yeah, but the game's over now. Like, I don't get to do anything with this. So I like that, 2/3 of the way through the last season, you get your big bonus so that you get to do the last chapter with the whatever crazy bullshit you get for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, right, we have like a number of actions thing going on, which I think is good. And we're just going to have to wait to decide what the check is, how you determine if you get it or not, because we don't know how the game works yet. Like, I don't know what to make them roll at the end, because we don't know what this game does yet.
Yeah.
It's tarot cards. It's all luck.
And if it doesn't work, it's just a number of actions you take that the players are unaware of. They just have to work towards the goal, and the GM goes, at some point it occurs, and if they haven't done enough, the GM just goes, and you eat shit in front of fucking everybody.
Brutal.
And it's so embarrassing. So
Right
that way
now-
it's still...
Right now, I have it
story-based.
as in the first year you have to take 2 actions, and then it just goes up by 1 each. It's 3, 4, 5. Because I think if we did 2, 4, 6, 8, you can't do the last one.
No.
But if it's 5, it's like, okay, you've had a total of 12 things. Did you use almost half to
do
just go for it? If not, fuck. Basically,
Don't
were
do
you
it.
smart enough to keep it front of mind? Because there's an easy way to do this, right? You do 1 every year, and then you do 2 on the last year, and you can get it every single time. But the question is, did you completely ignore it for the first 2 years, and now you have 9 to try to get, now you have 6, and you have to use 5 out of 6 to try to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the GM keeping a part of it secret might be nice. It's like, it could be 2 actions, or it could be 3. Or it could be 6 actions, or it could be 7. You really have to hedge your bets on if you've done 6, 7. You have to hedge your bets on if you've done enough. And if you haven't and you gambled wrong,
You fucked it.
sorry, buddy.
You biffed it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then there's some kind of check. There's some kind of thing, or it's a check. Like a check in the video game sense where it's like checking for a parameter. Like, is your strength high enough? No? Well,
You're not going to be able to lift up the cool sword. Sorry.
so maybe
Greg
it's
needs
like,
you.
maybe it's if you've. My instinct would be if you have less than the number, you automatically fail.
Mhm.
If you have the number, you roll. If you have more than the number, you automatically succeed.
I think that's fun.
So like you can get the last one with 5, and you're gonna have to roll, or if you get 6, you are the best at it. Like it's a shoe-in. There's nobody there to like contest you. You did it.
But you've lost a super important relationship because you've been so focused on Quidditch that your mentor is like, I can't do anything for you.
Yeah, this
out of
person
my
is
face.
also trying to go to class and trying to keep up their relationships and trying to pass exams, and their exam thing might not line up with their personal goal.
Yep.
And they also, hey, that also means this person's never getting a flashback point, the best thing to get in the entire game. They're never going to have time to do that if they're trying to juggle all this other stuff. No, yeah, I think we've made a really, really frustrating system.
Oh,
Uh,
it's a lot of juggling.
What do
It
you
feels like
get?
high school. What do you get from this?
What do you get? Is it just
I
like
guess
crazy
Depends on
stat
what-
bonuses? And do you just get to do we say like, here's 3 points, allocate them wherever you want?
I think
It depends on the season.
I think that there could.
Well, yeah, it'll be
Good
bigger
point.
as we go further.
I think that there can be a tangible item reward that would be somebody creating the time turner that they've been working on in the background throughout this entire thing. They go, I have a thing that we can use that's going to help. Then they have it. 2 would be attribute increases. 3 would be increases to your stats with a group.
Okay.
Any
so,
of those would be permissible.
So we have like 3 blocks you can take. You can either, pitch an item to the GM, and they will make a version of it that you get to keep. And then it's just like, hey, just go by, if it's earlier, it can't be that great. If it's later, it can be pretty great.
Yep.
Number 2 is stats. you can get stat bonuses, and those we can actually do the math on later, where it's like if it's in year 1, you get to add 3. If it's in year 2, you get to add 4. If it's in year 3, you get to add 5. If it gets in, it's something like that. And then finally, social. You get to move some needles around, which I think is fun, right? You get to gain traction. And I think that, Daniel Radcliffe got to the end of his first season, did it then, and everybody was like, oh, you're going to do it now? And he was like, yeah. Took social and just got rid of all his negatives. He just went down the line and just crossed off all the negatives. And they were like, oh, that was pretty smart. And he's like, yep, no one gives a shit about me. Except for like...
Now when Dumbledore says 8 million points to Gryffindor, the Hufflepuffs don't go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They just go, yeah, I guess.
They don't riot. They're just like, weird.
Makes sense.
Can I pitch a fourth option?
Yeah.
Instant exam pass.
Ooh, get out of jail free card? That's pretty fun.
If you've been neglecting your learnings pretty hard, there you go. Either is like you got a way to cheat, or you got in with the professor that's doing the exam, something like that.
Yeah, this is just real. This is just real. It's the guy who's huge on the football team who literally cannot think and has not been to class in 2 years and somehow has a 3.2. All right. That's big win. Oh, big wins. The last thing I want to do. I think we should come up with some categories just because it's fun. Like, what are the big wins?
What could they be?
I mean, we don't have to do this, but I think it's often helpful to give some options because then otherwise players are going to get a little stuck. I think number 1 is like competition. And I think I might keep it that general. Competition is catching the golden ball. It's math leading. It's, doing the thing. It's competition. You win a contested event.
I think 2, exploration. You've discovered the secret room of blank. And that's going to be important that you found the secret room.
I think another one would be contest or like a catastrophe.
Save the day.
Yeah, exactly. Save the day.
Cool.
Competition, exploration, save the day.
Get the
creation.
girl.
We can.
We're gonna have to workshop that. That's
bit.
cringy. We'll have to find a way to get that in. Spencer, what was yours?
Creation. This is making a magic item. This is building the mount that you'll ride in through the forbidden wood. Shit like that.
How about like solve the puzzle? It's like there's something that's hidden or like
Yeah, solve the mystery.
Yeah, mystery puzzle.
Crack the case.
Crack the code.
There's something weird about the school. Like, there's something that like nobody's been able to figure out. Millennia. The saying on underneath the dean's door or something.
Yeah.
So competition, exploration, save the day, creation, solve the mystery.
I feel like that's covering a pretty good amount of bases.
I'm just running through books and movies. I'm just like combing through in my mind to see if there's anything missing. I don't think so. Okay.
The only other one, I feel like it bleeds into other stuff. It's like, discover the truth. It's like finding out Mad-Eye Moody wasn't who he was.
That's crack the code.
Crack the code, solve the mystery.
Yeah, that's fair.
Save the day.
Is there like celebrate? This is like you show up at the ball and you absolutely stun on those.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like prom king, prom queen.
Yeah, it's along those lines. where it's like celebratory.
Yeah, it's a social win.
Mm-hmm.
King of the Hill, kind of.
Yeah.
What do you
I feel like
say
Prom
about that?
King kind of covers what we're getting at, and people would know what we mean.
Yeah. Yeah, put in in subtext. Doesn't have to be prom king, prom
Does
queen.
not have to be prom.
But like social win.
Yep.
Okay.
You held the big party of the year.
Season 1, this would be like stand up to the bully teacher. Like, it does not need to be anything crazy. It's like you've just been getting enough of it that now you stand up. Everybody loves that shit. It doesn't need to be crazy, but it's a social win.
You beat Snape in a one-on-one during Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Exactly. You blast him with a shield or whatever.
All right. Now it's time for breaks. So, this is where I get a little. This is where I get a little dodgy. Right? Because logistically, there is a break between each episode.
Mhm.
Right? You do the first section, and then you have winter break, and then you do the second section, and then you have spring break, and then you have the third section, and then you have summer break.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Mhm.
So does that mean between each episode you do a little thing?
Yeah, 100%. And I think what you do is you increase an attribute by 1. This is like, I went and I learned how to surf in California for spring break. I'm bumping my acrobatics up by 1. I nailed that shit.
I'm tempted to say that you have to trade or something. That it's not just.
So
I don't know
we'll
if I
go
want
down by
them.
1 to
Unless,
go
do
up.
your stats in this game, is this what I'm learning? Your stats start like violently apocalyptically
Yeah.
low.
Yes.
Like you start
You're
as
10.
an idiot.
You're a 10-year-old. You're not doing good.
Well,
That's
as
what
it
I
is,
was thinking, yeah.
as it is right
Is it
now,
12?
you're a 14-year-old.
13.
Because you're
I
doing
say drop
14,
it down-
15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, and then you're leaving school.
Makes sense.
Because we have it be year, end.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
I would
college right
do-
now. So if anything, it's like 18, 19, 19, 20, 20, 21, 21, 22.
I feel like 13 to 17 is funnier. It's just such a formative age where at 13 you're an absolute bumbling idiot, and then by 17 you kind of know who you are and what you're about. I think is kind of a fun shift.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. We can just say like you enter. This is the really cool thing about fantasy and why so many people write in it. We get to say you enter as a youth and you leave as an adult. And
Yep.
that's all we have to put. We can let them pick
Covered.
the year, right? You enter as an inexperienced kid, and by the time you leave, you are different, right? We get to just say that and sort of like wash our
yeah.
hands of it. Okay, so it's +1 to attribute.
And you gotta explain why.
Yeah, that I was going to say. I think it's part of it. Like you had to come to next session with a story.
Is there like, I'm chasing something about like the friend who doesn't do any, as the guy who often didn't do anything on spring break or winter break, there was definitely some social like, oh, you didn't do anything? Like that was there. Is there like, do you roll? I want there to be some random aspect. Do you roll to see how sick it is? And like, no matter what, you get the +1 boost. That doesn't change. But do you like roll for tightness? Like, do you roll for how rad it is?
I think that's fun.
Because you're a kid, you're not in control of it.
Yeah.
You leave and it's just whatever. Unless it's an anime, high school anime, in which case, inexplicably, it's every fun thing happens. There's
Yeah.
9 festivals and 2 things, and your part-time job is great, and it's the place that you go to all the time.
I think you roll. Could it be impacted by something? That's the only thing I'm wondering. Like, does your aura make a difference to your events on spring break? You get a bonus depending on your aura, where it's like, oh, I've got 5 in that. I roll a d6. I add 5 to it. Every break is sick as fuck. Every time.
My question is, when you do character crew, because I think aura would be like telling people about it in a way that's interesting. I have an idea for like a stat at the beginning. because it's high
secret stat.
schoolers, where it's like there's a couple of different. I think it's like a little spectrum. It's like those like anime character power rankings where it's like intelligence, strength. And I think you get to, when you at character creation, you get to move those arms, but you only have so many points to spend. And one of them is like parents. And it's like, if you get 5, it's like you have a rich, healthy, loving family. And everything's honestly kind of great. Like fucking Hermione, where it's like, everything's awesome. Ron took 4. They're big. Like, they're friendly. They don't have any money. Ron might have taken 3. No. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
But it's like...
Harry, 0.
It's like...
Parents, dead.
Oh, no,
brother,
there it is.
It's
like family, money, another thing. And, like, money gives you a bonus to what you get to do on break. It's like, that's what would affect it.
That's pretty fun.
I'll note that down. Let me write that down. We didn't talk about character creation at all. That's another thing we still have to do.
No, we haven't. Well, we did a little bit. We did say the majors minors is random.
Yeah, you're not.
That is the sorting
hat.
That.
You're
that is
born
the sorting
that
hat
way.
saying, here you go.
All right, I'm gonna note that to the side. Okay, so then you roll for coolness plus wealth. It's fucked up, but it's so correct. Like, it's so true. Like, we went to... I know Spencer and I went to school with a couple of kids that were like, Cancun. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You're 12.
We're going to the Bahamas for the 4th summer in a row. See you losers never.
Okay. And the roll for coolness plus wealth equals social moves.
I will say Spencer and I were also kind of those kids.
It was Florida every time.
Yes. What do you mean you went to China over summer?
Once. Yeah, you guys, it felt like every time we blinked, you guys were in Florida. It was so strange.
Yeah, that was true.
Okay, now, between season break, I feel like characters don't come back stronger from season break.
You mean the big summer?
From 1 to 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
This might just be me.
I think that's true.
I don't feel like they ever come back. They come back stronger between series. That's when you go from fucking Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, and it's like, whoa, that was a power jump. And I think that would be fair. I don't feel like characters ever get stronger. Like, I feel like Harry Potter ever comes back from summer break different. I don't feel like Wolf ever comes back different. It's always while he's actively learning.
Yeah, they don't come back stronger. They usually come back with a new item, though. Like a new artifact or a new piece of equipment.
It's so funny. I was going to say they always come back with a new haircut.
That's also true. You have to do a style choice between every season, and it's got to be big.
Yeah, what is it? Like, I'm just trying to figure out what we do between seasons. Is it like, so it sounds like it's a couple things. Number one is tell me how your appearance has changed.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
I think that the big thing that changes in TV shows and movies like this are character attitude.
I do think, by the way,
happy-go-lucky character is now kind of gloomy in the next movie, and it's like, what happened? It's like nothing really. Puberty is the answer, like 90% of the time.
I love this because we're gonna have to keep using it as a reference, and I do apologize. It's not like we're giving JK any money. The Harry Potter thing. I love that because there's the one book in Harry Potter, the one movie where it's just like, oh, everybody's hair's long now.
Yeah.
And so it's, oh, we all sat down to play. We all forgot it was a new series. And he's like, all right, how does everybody's appearances change? And fucking Daniel Radcliffe is like, oh, I have long hair now. And then it goes to the next one, and Rupert Grint's like, long hair. And it just like goes around. And it's like, we can't all do fucking long hair. Like, it's like, sorry, it's the long hair season. I don't know what you want from me.
What happens? So I think attitude and appearance are the change. They don't grow. They're just a little different.
Okay.
You know, someone's gonna come back losing a hand. It's my appearance.
True. Oh, okay, hear me out. To tie in Michael's thing from before, if it's your season, you get to bring an item. Harry Potter Season 1, the Nimbus 3000. Hermione, she's got the time turner when it's her season, but obviously that wouldn't be accurate. She's making it in our game.
Sadly,
but
Ron's
bring
was a
something
broken
with you.
wand.
Ron's was a broken hand-me-down wand. Yeah, true. But I think that's what it is. You bring an item.
I was like, I didn't actually read Harry Potter, which I can't help. I don't know what
I don't
Ron
remember all
got
of
into. I don't remember him very well. I know he's in them
Ron
things.
mostly just got the girl. Not much else happened for Ron, if I'm being super real.
So there's an appearance change and attitude change, and if it's your big win, if it's your season, you get an item.
You bring something plot relevant that's going to help you on your quest to do your thing that you're trying to do for the big win.
Okay.
Ron steals the fucking flying car
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
that's
third one, I think.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that. So like he got the car and then failed the check at the end and lost it. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
just got womp.
Okay. Womp. Hilarious in genre. All right. So now we're on to the last category. Where's my stack of note cards? Shit. Well, whatever. Which is a two-parter. Part 1, which we just came up with, character creation. We need to make a little star chart of like family, money, other stuff. Harry fucking what's the guy I said his name 5 times just now. Daniel, he maxed out money and forgot parents was one of the stats.
Yeah. Oops.
He took family 1, and so he got an abusive aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
You have a small family and they suck. That's one. It's like, oh boy. So that's what we have to figure out. And how do you play this fucking game? What are we doing? What are we adding numbers to? I know. Here's what we know. We add numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally all we know. We know that we add numbers. So, like, that leans us towards dice. In theory, we could still do playing cards or something, and it would be like, it brings it up by 1. Well, my only thought was it would be kind of fun to do it with a, it's like a Magic school game. It would be kind of fun to do it with a tarot card deck.
True.
But I think
If
it's pretty
we-
dicey. It's pretty dice oriented.
If we Powered by the Apocalypse Affi, do we have to change anything that we've done so far? I think the
Not
answer's no.
really. The only thing is our stat numbers are going to get psychotically high for a Powered by the Apocalypse system. Right? If they're getting +1 to those stats every time they sneeze and between every season and as they go throughout the series, that means by the end, their plus to evoke
That's true.
is going to be like a +8. And most Powered by the Apocalypse systems max out at +3.
Yeah. I think we can D20. One of the very few times you'll catch me saying it, we can D20, or we can make it a bit more complex and do D100. I'm on the side of D20. I think we're getting up to a scale of like +8 is when you're maxing out. That's good for a D20 system. I think that's really
How
solid.
does... I don't know if they're open license. How does Kids on Bikes do it? I know you can...
I have no idea.
No idea.
Because it's D4, D6, D8, D10, D12, D20. And then I think you
Kids
can
on
do
Bike.
something when you get to D20. I think you can start back at the beginning at 2D4. But I also don't know if that's an
Kids
open
on
system.
Bikes. Kids on Bikes has all the dice. Like the
Yeah, I
same as
know.
D&D.
Like you have one stat that's a D4, one stat that's a D6,
Yeah.
and you can explode to make them go up. Okay,
Yep.
so how do we find like? So let's try and split the difference between. I don't want more rules than Powered by the Apocalypse.
Okay, hear me out. If we say you get like a point increase, we could say you get a die increase in the Kids on Bikes style.
Yeah.
You start most stats at a D6. One will be a D4, one might be a D8. Everything else you're up in D6. And then when you do an increase, you go from D6 to a D8 or a D8 to a D10. And you want to
Okay.
spread those out so you're not absolute dog water.
I have a
Aura.
pitch that makes a lot of sense to me, but that I'm almost positive is too complicated. You can add. So you start with a D4. You can do +1 and then +2. and then when you go to give it +3, you have a choice. You can either do +3 on a D4, or you can swap your D4 out for a D6. And then it's the same thing. You can take D6 +1, D6 +2, and then when it gets to your +3, you can either take the +3 or you can upgrade to a D8. And so it encourages you to keep, because your max roll on a D4 +2 is a 6.
Yeah.
And even if you just keep taking those +1s, at the end of the series, you'll have a D4 +7, which maxes you out at an 11 on the die.
Yeah, which is nowhere near a 20, which is where you'd be at if you were taking that. That's pretty cool.
You'd be better off with a D20 +4, but the only way to get there would have been, you would have had to have just been gunning for it the entire time.
I like that. I don't think it's too complicated. We just put pips next to it.
Yeah, like you level it up once, you get a +1. You level it up twice, you get a +2, and then you get to reset it. And so it probably would just we probably just wouldn't give the option. It would be +1, +2, next new die. So I like that there's some risk, and we can explain that as like as you venture into new skills, you get shaky. You know what I mean? That going from junior varsity to varsity is a big difference, and you kind of lose something when you get there. Like there's a little bit of like, what? I think you're right though. I think that we don't start at D4s. I think most things start at either a D6 or maybe at a D8.
Yeah. D8 I think is more reasonable. D6 is like bad. D6 you're not going to succeed most checks past the first year. First year I think it's very forgiving on what's passable. After that, things start getting really specific.
If we want to change the dice and go Monopoly style, I would say D6 +1 +2, take away the pluses, add a D6. You roll 2D6 now. And we could even go as high as +3. We could say +1 +2 +3, and then it's like, okay, 2D6. +1 +2 +3, 3D6. +1 +2 +3, 4D6.
I wouldn't, just because I like the idea of increased level dice.
Okay.
It looks fun. And a big pile of dice is always fun, but I feel like it's not very high schooly.
Okay,
That's like I'm the archmage of the college. Now I've got 37 dice. Nah, I'm Harry Potter season.
Yeah, Harry Potter. I'm final year. I have my D20.
Yeah, if you get like one skill to D20, you're cooking. You spent some time on Hermione, intelligence.
It's also just
Ron, I don't know.
It also encourages min-maxing, which I like, because the best thing for you to do is to either get to a D12 +2 and then stop, or it's to get to D20 as fast as possible, because the thing that makes D20s different is those numbers go on forever.
Yeah.
You
get
can
like
totally,
+7.
if you don't do anything else, right? Well, what's our max stats in this game? Our maximum stats in this game is 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So the highest possible is +20 to one stat. So if you started a D8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You would end up with a D20 plus 11.
Which,
if you just went
crazy.
in one direction, if you said, I don't do fucking shit else, I do this one thing, then that means your lowest possible roll is a 12 and your highest is a 32.
And if you do that, you're going to
31.
get punished because the cliques are going to hate you. Your mentor's going to leave you behind. You're going to fail your tests. You're going to get no flashbacks. It hurts to be a savant at one thing. It is not good for you.
It means you're like
that.
an untouchable Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
And so it's like, did they fail in school?
That.
Probably not. Like, you're probably going to fail your exam and then still graduate. But everyone's going to be like, yeah,
they graduated.
Someday they're going to be like, oh, you went to school with, you went to school with like Maria Sharapova or whatever. And they're going to be like, yeah, it's not like they weren't very friendly. Is what they say every time. They're like, what was, I don't know, who's the swim guy?
Michael Phelps.
What was Michael Phelps like in school? I guarantee you the answer is going to be like, I didn't talk to him a lot.
Never
He
saw him.
was,
He was never
in the
here.
pool ever.
Yeah, like we
Yeah.
didn't see him
And that
ever.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that's solid. And then they're out in the Forbidden Forest. A big wolf shows up. They maxed wisdom, and they're like, dang. I don't know shit
Bad
about Big Wolf
situation.
in Wood. I don't know anything about this. I didn't study. I didn't pick up a sword. I can't do this.
Okay. So then the question becomes... I gotta Google the person whose name I said. I think she does, like, tennis?
Maria Sharapova? I thought she was
No
ice
idea.
skating, but that's just because Russian names sound like
Tennis
dating
player.
to me. Yeah.
Okay, so our system gets you at various die and you slowly increase. It really incentivizes you to get up to that D20 though. What if... Alright, soft pitch for a little shift. Just because I'm looking at it and it... So like, if you start with +1s and +2s and everything, you actually get weaker... basically when you get to those D10s and D12s. So you're really incentivized to blast to D20, and I think that's going to make people play like shit. So my question then is like, but we want people to consistently get at least one D20, right?
You know what I would say? We could cut out middle die.
I was going to say D8 goes to +3, D10 goes to +3, D12 goes to +4. So that way you can get like 13s and 12s. And it'll incentivize people to maybe stop at D12 +4. To be like, I can hit a 16, I don't think I need more than that. Like, I don't think I actually need to like up to D20. Or we could cut out every other die.
Yeah.
We could
D4,
say
D8,
you go
D6,
I was going to
D10.
say you go D6, D10, D20.
Yep. That's what I was thinking. Because then it's a sizable, notable increase between each one. And then I think you probably do +3 on each to get that increase from a D6 to the D10.
Well, so then my inclination is to say you go to D6 up to +3 because it's half the value, and then you go to D10 up to +5 because it's half the value, and then you hit D20 and you get to go up infinitely. Because that way, right, on a D10 +5, your average roll is a 10. Wow, I just did some big brain game design shit. Y'all ready for this? At a D6 +3, your average roll is a 6, and then you get to up it to a 10. At a D10 +5, your average roll is a 15, and then you get to up it to the D20. No, D10 +5, your average roll
10.
is a 10, and then you get to go to the D20, which its average roll is 10.
There you go.
So D6 is 6, and then yes, because D6 +3, your average roll is 6. Average roll on a D10 is 5. D10 +5, your average roll is a 10. D20, your average roll is 10. So it's a perfect, like, hey, it's time to move to the next die.
Mm-hmm.
You have very
You're
little
ready
to gain
for
from
it.
staying where you are. Like, you should move on. So that means... So now let's look at it wide scale. So that's 3... So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17, 19, 21. So how much would that take then? Assuming you started at D20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That still ends you at D20 + 11. If you were to just
Nice.
absolutely zero in, focus, and do nothing else. Damn, how did we do that?
Nailed it.
So that still ends you at that as the absolute maximum, but for most people, like D20 +4, and I think the average difficulty in this game is just not that high.
No, I think it increases season by season, obviously. Season 1, we're talking like a 6 will get you most things you need to do. By the end of the game, probably like a 12 will get you most of the way to whatever you need. And that's like hard, is a 12. But if we're talking like impossible levels, Steal Dumbledore's Phoenix's tier so you can bring somebody back, Yeah, it's going to be like an 18. You need a D20. If you're not a D20 plus, you're not going to do it.
Okay. Sick. Wow. That math just really worked out. That was fun.
We found
We
the
need a
Fibonacci
D40.
sequence.
Okay. So that's how the dice system works. We have so much left to do. All right.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
okay.
And we've got 24 minutes.
Yeah, no, we're good. We're good. I'm just thinking now. I'm letting the ideas flow. Okay, so that's our dice system. We want to go kind of powered by the apocalypse, and I think that's the right call. And I like this upgrading dice thing. I think it's fun, and I think it lets us have... I can see the character sheet really cleanly, where it's just like 2 empty bubbles, one for the die and one for the bonus. And you can like fill it in as it gets higher and then eventually swap them out and keep going up. And they can just be 6 bubbles in a stack. And that looks good on a sheet. I can then see like your parent stuff below it with your background across the bottom and some other stuff like your class and whatever. And then this big section for abilities or something. I don't know what goes here. That's a big question we have left. I don't think we want there to be 32 character sheets, right? You fill out a blank one. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a real question. That's a real question we have next. Are there 32? 32 is not infinite. There are games with more than that. It would just be a shitload. We would just have to sit down and come up with them. So if it's going to be... Yes, but hurry. We got to go to our moves.
For the characters, when we're mixing and mashing everything, is like, all right, this is your major, this is your minor. From this major, you can pull 3 abilities from this and 1 from your minor.
Oh, that'd be very cool.
Nice.
Merge it.
I really like that.
That's really good. Okay, now, what are the moves that everyone can do? I am tempted to say, use magic.
Use magic is always there.
I like one of the options being use magic. And it's plus, and I think, well, the only issue I have with that is, so that's, I want there to be something like that, but we have 3 magical stats. Evoke, support, and primal are all magical.
Yeah.
So is use magic plus evoke?
That's rough.
Because Aura can cast illusions, but that to me feels less like use magic and more like smooth talking, deceiving, like hiding in plain sight.
Yeah. Okay, could we do like, instead of use magic, cast? This is spell work.
And cast is plus evoke.
Yeah. But then there's stuff like illusory spells, and that's not casting. That's, whatever.
Deceiving.
Okay,
yeah.
so let's go down the list. So we want there to be 1 keystone move for each stat. This is the move that you're going to be using the most by far, and that's okay, right? That's normal. So for evoke, the big move you're going to use all the time is cast. You use magic to change the world. It will be loud, it will be flashy, it will be seen. Cast is not a subtle ability. This isn't the same. We aren't saying this in the like universal sense. Cast means you are evoking a magical effect on the world. Okay. So then I would say auras is influence. And that can be literally talking. That can be casting an illusion. That's all flavor. And if somebody's like, well, that seems like it should be its own category, you seem like you should shut up.
Wrong.
It's you pick the flavor however you want. So influence is our aura stat. And that's talk, and illusion. All right, support.
This would be like
Heal, buff, protect.
bolster, aid.
God.
Aid probably covers bolster, heal,
Aid.
and protect.
Yeah.
Okay. Marshall.
Smackdown.
Yeah, is it I can't say, is it fight or is it flex? I kind of like it. I was about to say I kind of like it being fight.
Yeah.
You aren't in Marshall to learn to do dumbbell curls.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like the Marshall school is go fight in that field. Like,
yeah, because we're gonna have other skill, and it could be argued that when you are lifting a tree out of the road, you are fighting with its sort of natural gravity.
You're fighting gravity.
Yeah, you're fighting. It's just you're not punching.
The only thing I was thinking with is, do we have a class like for guarding?
That would be fight major, support minor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is me. It's like, and it's just you chose for your flavor to not be magic. And that's all it is. It's just, I think that some support classes are learn to cast spells, and I think some support classes are, here's the shield, we're going to shoot 300 dull arrows at you.
All right, I like that then.
All
That's
right.
good.
Covert. Hiding, shifting, being one with shadows.
Stealth.
Silence, stealth.
I don't think it can be stealth. It can be sneak, because we're verbs right now. We're cast, influence, aid, and fight. So it has to be a verb.
Yeah, sneak. Sneak for sure.
Together.
I was wondering if, I don't know, I kind of want there to be something like, make a backroom deal. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like fight can be 3,000 things. I feel like sneak is one thing.
There's lurk, skulk.
Skulk is good. Because, like, I want them to be able to pick a lock.
There could be smuggle. That would kind of cover a lot. That would include backroom dealing stuff and breaking into stuff and hiding, like. But skulk might be best.
All right, I'm writing both because we don't sound certain. And then primal. I weirdly, it's in my mind, it's channel.
I was thinking commune. So,
I was thinking channel,
Very
like
similar.
take on the characteristics and powers of a natural force. Channel.
Yeah, I think commune is a little too specific for like. It feels almost conversational, where channel you're the conduit instead of being a participant.
And I like channel also because I feel like channel you can just turn into a bear, and channel can also be, you know, they sit in a field and the leaves play around them and the whisper of the wind tells them which way that man ran.
Mm-hmm. And that's all of them, right?
So that's cast, influence, aid, fight, smuggle, or skulk, and channel. Cast, influence, aid, fight, skulk, channel.
I like skulk better.
Okay, what? All right, so that's pretty good. So those are stat specific. So in general, when you want to use strength, when you want to use martial, you are rolling fight. In general, when you want to use evoke, you are rolling cast. Now, what are some broad topics? What are some broad moves? I'm thinking investigate a mystery. You know what I mean? Can I tell you what investigating a mystery isn't? Casting, influencing, aiding, fighting, skulking, or channeling. That's for sure. So, like, here's things that I feel are totally not covered. Studying, reading, knowing things, being smart, historical knowledge. I know it. That's the Verindin Bundusu fruit, or whatever the fuck, right?
Yes.
And number 2 for me is, like, keeping your eyes open. Is like being alert, being aware, being perceptive. I feel like those are 2 adventurer-ass things that we have no coverage over. And I know somebody right now is like, what about nature? Nature's just the intelligence one again. What about medicine? Medicine's just the fucking perception one again. Like, stop it. We all have complained about this a lot. And all the, what about, you know, chat and barter? That's influence. We covered that.
It's already done.
Yeah. What I'm left with is investigating and knowing. Oh no, he's leaving.
He's gone.
ETA on finding out that his dog peed. It's a troublesome question. So those are the two, Michael, that I think I'm left with here.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you feel like is in there? Like,
Yeah.
I'm back.
nothing
Those
changed.
aren't covered.
Was it
Yeah, we're
a dog?
just
Did a
kinda
dog pee?
thinking.
No, Noodle went into Nicole's office, and I want her to eat her Squishmallows.
Oh, I thought that was it for sure.
That's skill that we didn't cover.
Yeah.
Stop dog.
Investigating to see if dog is eating Squishmallow.
So knowledge
Write that one
/
down.
history. I don't know exactly what I want that to look like, but it's like book smarts, and
I
then
would throw in an understand.
yeah, understand is good.
Roll to understand.
Oh yeah. Ooh, oh, I'm having a really good pitch here. Understand, and so what's the eyes open? Is it perceive?
Yeah,
Or
I
notice?
think perceive is. I think
Spot?
that both work.
Notice.
Clock.
That's funny.
Roll the clock. Roll for aura. Roll to touch nature.
Let's go understand and notice. So here's my
Yeah.
pitch. Because we kind of have mental and physical stats.
Mhm.
I think you can understand with evoke, support, or primal, maybe. Oh, primal's kind of more notice. So, like, let me do it the other way. So I feel like the ones that are obviously notice are primal, martial, and aura.
Yeah.
And understand would be evoke. Let's see if this makes sense if I write it out. Would be evoke, support, or covert. The
think
only
that
one
makes
I don't
sense.
like is I feel like covert doesn't belong. I feel like covert should be notice.
I like
See-
covert for understand because they're like lock picking shit. They
Okay.
look at a safe and they go, I can get into that.
Yeah,
So-
you're understanding the best way to be hidden.
And so I like that because
Yeah.
I think these are wide use. You've convinced me. So I think you can roll understand with evoke, support, or covert. And I think you can roll notice with primal, martial, or aura. And it's just your ability to be in tune with the situation. And it's its own move. And it just basically incentivizes, like, hey, you should pick one thing from at least one of these categories. Like, you don't need both.
Yeah.
But you need, if you want to specialize, you can. You know what I mean? The wizard can be incredibly smart.
There's going to be class combinations that are notably better in every situation. And it's the ones that do that. Where it's, I'm an evoke
Ooh.
support.
So there's my question. What
Is there-
happens if you are, like, do you get to roll? You see where I'm going with this, right?
Do you get
just
to
pick
add
your best
both?
one, or do you get to add the rest? That makes the average roll too high, though. It can't be that.
It would only come up for noticing and understanding things, so I don't know if it would be too terrible. But I think you would just choose your best. I think that's the easiest option is choose your best. If they're the same, choose the one that you think is more applicable to the situation.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. Wow. Pretty clean.
I like it. It feels so like symmetrical.
Structured.
And then
Yeah,
we just make
that's right.
major and minor abilities. And and the best part about building something in the apocalypse style is we're done.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? How do you roll initiative? What the fuck is initiative? You go in, or you say, "Hey, I want to do something next," and everybody needs to do something before you do a new thing. What do the bad guys roll? Bad guys don't roll. Why? That's a waste of my time. You roll, and that determines what happens. Like, I refuse.
Wouldn't
I
it be so
decline.
lame if there was a combat and I rolled and the bad guy never once hit you? Yeah, that would suck. I'm not gonna do that.
So
I just say he hits.
now we have the conundrum, the problem. Powered by the apocalypse does not have DCs, it has success ranges. We have created a system that requires DCs.
Mm-hmm.
There is no success range that can cover all of these things. How
Yeah.
do we want to do this? Do we want to make like a chart of difficulties? Is that our next thing?
Yeah, I don't think that'd be too difficult.
Okay.
I think that we would have to actually make 4 charts of difficulties. And it's impossible in the first year is easy in the fourth year. They're not the same scale. When you're playing first year, your scale only goes up to 8. 8 is impossible. And then once you're into second year, it's like, okay, now 12 is impossible. Third year, 15 is impossible. Fourth year, 20 is impossible for the task limit. Because you're not opening season 1, Harry Potter is a D20 aura lobber.
So
he can't.
So my question is it 4 different charts, or do you unlock a new difficulty? Or is there a shift where my first thought is in your first year there are 3 difficulties: easy, medium, and hard. In your fourth year there are 4: trivial, easy, medium, and hard. In your third year there's another one, and it's trivial, easy, medium, hard, impossible.
Yeah.
Or daunting. And then in your last year, it's trivial, easy, medium, hard, daunting, impossible. So it's not that you're... So first year, you only have trivial, easy, and medium. And each year, you unlock the next difficulty. And we'll say, unlock. Why? First year characters should not encounter difficulties at this level.
It just won't happen.
And that way we're you never stop doing trivial. The average check is trivial or easy.
Yep.
That's the average thing they do is not medium. Is the average thing you do medium difficulty? Is the average thing that you do in a day require focus and attention? Mine's not. Making breakfast is a trivial check. You put the thing in the thing and you eat it. You're fine. Okay.
Yeah, I like unlocking. That's fun.
I'm so sorry that we are going to have to do a little bit of math now, I think.
If everybody's ripping at the beginning...
Trivial, easy, medium, hard, daunting, impossible. What were we saying?
My mouse isn't working. See if it fixed it.
That's not good.
Yep, it fixed it. Okay. So we're starting with D6 as the first die?
Yeah.
Then I would say a trivial check is probably a 3.
Well, I want to take a second to figure out some math right now. Because I think it's going to be relevant. So... at the end of your first year, you will have allocated 5 points across 6 stats. And this game incentivizes you quite obviously to focus on a few stats.
On 2.
Yeah. At the end of your second year, you will have allocated 10 stats. At your end of your third year, you will have allocated 15 stats, right? Because it's 5 per year. It's first, second, third, break. For 5 in total, and then 20, and then somewhere along that line you can have gotten more a number of other ways. We've already said that the only way to get +2, well, the big win, and also the only way you can get +2 or 3 to a stat is by relationships. Relationships are active, difficult conversations with the GM. You need to be talking to the right person, building the right relationship over multiple years to get stat increases. And so it's you're not going to get any other benefits from it. You could get social increases, you could get stat increases, but you're going to need to say I want to be the best I want to be the best paladin in the world. I'm going to try to build a mentor relationship with one of the paladin teachers, and then you two sit together and you come up with a paladin teacher.
Yep.
And they get, or you introduce a character, you say, okay, great, I'll introduce somebody in the story to be that. And that's how you can end up, with way higher. But so it's 5, 10, 15, 20. So that means that they will routinely, right, be adding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, that means they're rarely going to get to that D20 unless they're really focused, which I think makes sense.
That's valid. Yeah.
And I think it keeps something that we wanted, which is you're incentivized to have D10 plus 5 and then be like, I'm not going to put any more points in that. Why? I know it's the same on average as the D20, but it's much more consistent. My bell curve right now is this wide. It's not big, and I can't go all the way out to D20. I just can't. So I think that a trivial then... So that means the hardest thing you do is a medium in your first year when your average thing is going to be a D6. So is a medium difficulty 9?
For the hardest thing, yeah, you'd have a D6.
So that way in your first year, it's almost impossible to do a medium check. Because that would be a 14-year-old... that would be a 14-year-old trying to lift 215 pounds.
Yeah.
It's like the average person can, if anyone off the street, you just brought them to a barbell with 2 plates on either side, and you said, lift this up and I'll give you $10,000. I think the average person could do it. They would get hurt doing it, but they would physically get it off the ground by any means necessary. It would just wreck them.
A 13-year-old
would not be able to move.
Nope.
It. So I think the medium DC is either 9 or 10, and I think it's 9. So does that mean trivial is 3?
Yeah. I think trivial's 3, easy's 6. And
because you know what? 13-year-olds are gonna fuck up something that we think is trivial.
Yeah. All the time. Socially inept. They're not gonna do well. They're gonna go into a conversation and then trip over their own shoelaces.
So my instinct then is to say that a hard check, we can't keep the same pattern. A hard check shouldn't be 15. Daunting should be 15.
Yeah, it would be 12.
Yeah, hard at 12 sounds.
Yeah, so it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18.
Yeah.
Because to get to that 18 consistently, you would need to have invested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, so just 10 would give you the option to do it, and then 11, 12, 13, 14. You would have needed to have invested at least like 15 points in a single skill to get that consistently. And it's impossible. Like, we're not saying, DC 18, it's when we say, I think we'll say in the rules, like, hey, we aren't kidding. Impossible doesn't mean kind of tough. This isn't like when you play at your home game and you anime power creep yourself into oblivion and you start making dumb bullshit DC 30. A DC 18 thing is like, you can't do it unless you are a freak of nature who has been
and lucky.
Yeah, preparing for just this. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You need to be lucky and insane.
I feel like the top line is something that's it's encountered maybe once an arc. Maybe one. And like that's kind of up to the GM. I wouldn't say more than twice ever. Cuz you shouldn't be encountering those situations other than at like the epitome of the action of the story. That's when you'll encounter it. Otherwise, you're not going to run into it.
Even with that, I almost feel like it's a consequence. You did something really bad, really wrong, and put yourself in a bad situation.
And do you know what? It gives a really fun incentivization, which is, hey, there's one impossible check here. I hope you went to class, idiot. Because if you don't have a flashback, you're fucked. Like,
flashback, we can't go in there. I remember in this herbology class, they said that these vines will actually kill you in a second. And you turn around and you don't go in there.
It's funny, I feel like the other get around for it is like, you have really high social skill with the admins, who they are the teachers. They could get through it, maybe.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So wait. So what do admins get to? So admins have to roll. That's really fun. If it's like, hey, you never roll for anybody as the keeper except for teachers.
Teachers roll.
And teachers always roll like D20s plus 10. In their major, they roll d20 plus 10. In their minor, they roll d20 plus 5. And that's what admins do. So the admin is the only one who can be like, shwa! And they get to do that Dumbledore crazy shit where he makes a fire phoenix. Like,
yeah. That's sick. It is 9:01. I want to call that out. Is there anything we want to do to wrap up? Or are we done?
the only thing, we have one thing left to do. Because we aren't going to name each individual class. We're going to say, like, here are some touch points that we think are true. The rest of them are up to you. If we want, we can do one more session of this where we sit down and make the major and minor skills.
Abilities.
Where we basically make, like, specific abilities, which tells me what goes in this block. This block is a bunch of blank ability tiles. It's like 6 of them. And so it's like, what, each year you start with 2, and then each year you take 1. And then, so it's 2. You start with 2 in your first year, and then you take 1, 2, right? 3, and then you have 5. So the 6th square is your capstone. Like, we have a list of them that you can only take in your last year, and it's the big boy shit. It's, you pull off a real maneuver. The marshals,
you do the fire phoenix.
The marshals is, invisible blade is, hey, you're a Dragon Ball Z character now. You've jumped the shark. You know what I mean? That's really fun. Okay, so that's our last thing we need to do. We need to come up with the abilities for each one. Unfortunately, I do think the answer is that we would need to come up with at least 5 for each, so that there is like 30, which would be brutal. We're probably not going to do all that. That, in my mind, is immediately the right answer, though. I looked at it and I was like, well, how many as a player would I want to choose from? 3 is not enough. 3 makes it feel like a chart game. That makes it feel like we're playing, Diablo. 5 is like, it's going to take you a lot of playthroughs to ever hit all 5.
Yeah.
And any higher than that, and I think we're going to accidentally make synergies. I think that's where it's like, there's 7. That's when players are like, I'm just going to take the same one I always take. Why? There's like 9 for each thing. I'm not going to read 74 of these fucking things. But if it's 5 and you read your major and you read your minor, that doesn't take any time at all. You pick your 2 favorites, you slap them on.
I take this.
Yeah.
And
it also encourages some players to be real dipshits. And it's like, hey, you can take any one you want, but you've still got to roll that stat. Right? So, like, as a marshal primal, you can take fireball, you can take pyromancy,
you can roll
plus evoke. Like, I guess
roll that d6 real quick.
Yeah, hit me up with that d6. What's the difficulty? High. Like, what's the
12.
difficulty? High as shit. So the last thing I want to say, just because it's in my mind and I want it on the record, I almost want, when you use, like, abilities, I would like to make a pitch for how abilities work, because I want moves to be kind of safe to use. So I think it's just like, roll the stat, and your level of success makes the GM decide what to narrate. So the GM doesn't say, make a hard check. You say, I'm going to roll to evoke. I'm going to roll to cast. You roll your d12. You get a 14. You go, okay, I beat hard. And then you decide what happens based on that.
Yeah.
I think if you use an ability, you have to call your shot. And if you go higher, you don't get any bonuses.
It just happens.
So I think when you do an ability, you're like, I'm gonna do flurry as a marshal, and I'm gonna go daunting. And everyone's like, what? And you're like, I can get the 15. And a daunting flurry is like I think an impossible is the encounter ends.
Yeah.
Fuck. So the other thing we need to figure out is, like, damage.
True. Yeah, we'd have to come up with health for a typical monster or enemy, and then health for a, like, end game boss to determine how many rounds you would have in combat. I feel like it's not very many in an average encounter. I think you want, like, the whole team to do 1 or 2 things. and that'll wrap up most combat, except for, you know.
Yeah, there's an off-air conversation to be had about like how do we determine difficulty, and then how do we like slot people into those. But that's a little involved. It's someday, I don't know, we would need the viewers to clamber for DM Writer's Room to be like that, for us to start doing that stuff live. Because it's, for the record for everybody, the last time we did one of those, it was literally, not a joke, it was Spencer and I at his house for like 4 hours. Just talking about stats in the tower and how they work. Just fully.
What we ended up doing is being like, I think it should actually be an extra 3% spread on that. It's not for radio. It's not good.
It's literally us being like, so do you max out at 50% or 60%? And then it's me being like, let me get out my calculator. Well, they would average be able to roll within 70. So I guess it should be 70. It's the driest shit on the planet.
And then looking back at lore we made up and being like, well, if they get up to 70%, they would actually be stronger than the celestial threat that we established. So we just were like, okay, we can't do that on stream. We won't.
It's too noodly. All right. Well, good. That's on the record. We made a lot of good progress. This is a really fun. I really like this dice mechanic. This dice and DC mechanic is really, really interesting. All right. I think with that, that's where we're going to leave off. Thank you so much for tuning into DM Writer's Room. Our schedule should be back to relatively normal. I will say, it sounds like there's some waves coming down the line. It sounds like there's some potential future schedule shifts. I don't know when exactly they're going to happen. I don't know what they're going to look like. Hopefully everything stays the same, but things might shift around at least a little bit. But we're going to figure that out. You'll hear it from us first. Thank you so much for watching us demystify the DMing process by coming up with monsters, magic items, and entire systems live. Tune in on Sundays. Watch us play games. What in the Sam hell are we playing next month? Right now, next week, this coming Sunday, you're going to get to watch us play Magic the Gathering and talk about Slay the Spire 2, which I got to play a whopping 1 game of in multiplayer.
But we won.
But I'm thrilled to announce I have played like 4 other games of it since then. And I do want to play multiplayer again instantly, by the way. That was so much fun.
So good.
So that's where we're at there.
Next, we actually know what we're playing next. We are jumping back into Night Rain.
Or no. All right, so we're night raining again. Oh gosh, I'm going to be rusty as a nail in an old barn. That is going to be a disaster.
Hence why we have to master it.
Oh boy, that'll be tough. All right, well that's good to know. All right, with that, thank you all so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Stay foolish.